Testing. Yes, sir. Well, we have our first episode of the Transfer Talk. I have my very first guest, my good friend, special friend, one of my first friends at FSU, Mr. Hassan Muhammad, man. A little background on me and Muhammad. Me and Hassan, I should call it, we became friends before both of us was at FSU. This man used to be my trainer at Gold's Gym, Pensacola, now Powerhouse Gym. And he got to FSU a semester before me, and I noticed he was doing big things, so he kind of made it easier for me to get my foot in the door when I got to FSU. And then when we both was here, you know, we got straight to work, and you know, we got that TSU on and popping, FSU Transfer Student Union. If you haven't heard about that, but go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Hassan Muhammad. I am graduating this year. I'm graduating this year. And I transferred to FSU about 2 years ago. I came in, I knew Devin when he was at TCC. He was a black man that wanted to do better in life, so I always support that. So definitely put him on the e-board, got him that position. He's been putting in work for the organization, made numerous achievements for the organization, put us all across the board when it comes to FSU, especially social media wise. And I was at TCC before, but I transferred from a HBCU called Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. It's a smaller HBCU, smaller than FAMU, probably smaller than any HBCU in the area. You really compare it to like Edward Waters. Went there for about 2 years. Went to TCC for about 2 semesters. After that, transferred to FSU, and now I'm here.
Yeah. So let's talk more about like your first experience with FSU, and like your first semester. Like how was that?
Bro, my first semester at FSU, I literally I didn't do nothing. I went to class, I went home. I was not into FSU at all. Like, I thought I made a bad choice when coming to FSU. I thought I should have went to FAMU my first semester here. And then I met Dr. Burgess. I had her class my first semester, and she really opened my eyes to the opportunities at FSU. She gave me the idea for Transfer Student Union. She thought it would be a good idea. I was in her class. She literally told me, 'cause I used to sit in the front with my hat down every day. She literally told me, she said, "You are too big and black to not say anything in class." And I was like, I thought that was she made a good point, because it's not a lot of black men at FSU. And then the black men are there, they don't represent the same things that I represent. They don't come from the same environment I come from. They don't come from the area where I come from. So I really look at TSU for opportunity for me to outreach to not only the FSU community, but especially the black community, and create the opportunity to put a new face. I mean, yeah, you can say a new face in the FSU community, and show that there are other black men like me at FSU who transfer and are not traditional.
I agree. You know, shout out to Dr. Burgess as well. You know.
Yeah,
Dr. Burgess, she's a slept-on hero. For transfer students, most transfer students know Dr. Burgess, but if they don't, I'll tell you my experience with Dr. Burgess. I remember the semester before I got to FSU, that's when I went to a transfer roundtable. But we did transfer roundtable is under the Transfer Student Services Department, and we do that the first Thursday of every month. So I went to one in the summer, and it was completely optional, but I went. And long story short, she noticed me and wanted to talk to me afterwards. And I told her a little bit about who I was and how I was doing the marketing and stuff, this and that. And I ended up getting a job doing the Transfer Student Services, transfer outreach specialist. And then from there, by the time I got into school, she was able to like steer me in the right direction to help me like get all the resources and stuff that I need. So big shout out to Dr. Burgess.
For sure.
So you said that you attended Payne College. So describe like the people at Payne College and compare that to the people at like would you say that you had to be a different person to attend Payne and then FSU, or even not even that question, but would you say that like the person at Payne like made you, do you feel like that affected that was like that you had to transition to something different to be at FSU?
Yeah, for sure. Like Payne College, it's a small little HBCU. So like people don't go there unless like they're athletes or their parents went there. So like it's different than like FSU. FSU's so big. Like FSU has so many different people. You gonna run into so many different people. From the Black perspective, like you got care. Like at Payne College, like these kids like this wasn't their first choice school. This was their second choice school. Like this was probably like they had nowhere else to go, and this is where they went. Like they lived in the area, or they from Atlanta, or they from a couple miles. They from South Carolina, and their parents went there, or their cousin went there and got a degree, and it's like doing all right. Like this is like Payne College. Like the culture there is a lot different than FSU overall, but like just within like the community of Payne College, one I would say a big difference is way more family oriented. So like everybody knows you. Everyone feels like they call each other family. Like everyone is family. Like everyone that's admitted to Payne College is family in a certain type of way. So like I would say that's a big difference, but also another big difference is like I said, these people like most of the people that I came into Payne with, like this was like not their first choice, not their second choice, not their third choice. Like some people, like I would say, would much rather be at home than attend school. So like this was like they weren't out there looking for opportunity. This was just really something for certain people at the school. Like this is just something for them to do, a new experience to them, and they didn't really know how to handle themselves accustomed. But like I said, it is family oriented, so like they weren't like outsiders in the community. Like people took them in, but they definitely like this. It's not FSU into the sense where like some of the students at FSU like always knew they were going to college, or their parents went to college. Like these are a lot of first generation college students who had no idea about college until they came to Payne, and like even then they didn't really treat it like a college. Like this was just something that they were doing to get out their parents' house. This is the only opportunity they could have to get out their parents' house. So it's definitely a different culture that like was made than FSU. I feel like there's pros and cons both ways you go. I don't feel like one is better than the other just because one is smaller and one has less opportunity or less resources. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily better. I just feel like it's a certain type of environment for a certain type of person. So you have to be a certain type of person to succeed in both environments. So it goes both ways.
Understood. So you know how like your first experience, like your first semester experience at FSU was, but obviously, you know, you have like progressed since then and you became more comfortable and stuff with it. So like walk us through that. Like when did you like finally like move from the transfer shock in the first semester to like finally deciding to get involved and doing more and making your impact on campus? Walk us through that.
Like I said, I feel like Dr. Burgess had a big part in that because I really saw in her, like, I saw a representation of myself because she is a Black woman and she went to FSU. She graduated from FSU with 2 degrees or 3 degrees. She's Dr. Burgess. She graduated from FSU with 3 degrees. She's a 3-time graduate. And she, like I said, she doesn't like reject the Black culture at FSU or reject Black culture while being a student at FSU. So I definitely saw myself in her. And I felt like that if she could succeed, and she was a part of BSU when she was a student here. Also had a child while she was here, was at FSU, like, then I should do the same thing. And from that point forward, like, I knew, like, FSU, I knew there was resources at FSU. I made it my initiative to go find those resources and go utilize those resources, because I knew, like, I came to FSU for a reason. Like, I didn't come to FSU to, like, graduate. I didn't come to FSU just to graduate. I came to make an impact, and I came to earn a significant amount of income. So I made sure it was my, like, job, my duty, my initiative to go get that money that FSU has to offer and be at the same table as, like, other students that are not of my color. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you feel like it was hard to make friends with people of the same color, like going to FSU, being that you was a transfer student, and I know most of the people of color that go to FSU are first generation, or they go to care, or they're athletes. Right. So being like a regular third semester, fourth semester student at school, like, how was, like, connecting with the culture for you?
I mean, it went both ways for me. Just for me, this is for me. It went both ways, because I wasn't really messing with them. I don't feel like they were really messing with me. So, like, it went both ways on like, in a sense, because like I said, I come from Payne College, so like things are handled differently. Like, even my environment before Payne College, like, or how I grew up, like, it's not FSU. So it really went both ways when it came to, like, me getting to know them. Like, I really didn't even, like, really try to get to know many people of my same color at FSU when I first entered. And then my second semester there, I still was, like, apprehensive. But I would say when I did reach I have met lifelong friends at FSU. So I ain't gonna, like, cap all the way and be like everything was just, like, bad. Like, I've met lifelong friends at FSU. I got lifelong friends at FSU that are the same color as me. So, like, there is opportunity for that if you reach your hand out and you get out there. But there's times where I have reached my hand out and it was, like, denied. Or in my opinion, I felt like it was, like, an intimidation factor just because I'm different than them. They felt like they didn't know who I was, or they were intimidated by who I was, because, like I said, like, I come from a different, like, just background, like, cloth. So, like the way I move, the way I handle things, it's not, like, it was not typical when it comes to somebody who traditionally, like, grew up knowing they were going to go to college. Because, like, I grew up knowing I was going to college, but I'm a first generation college student. Like, I don't know how, like, people maneuver in a corporate world. Like, and FSU is corporate America, regardless, like, how you put it. Like, FSU is corporate America. So even in the Black community, like, FSU is corporate America. So, like, you got to handle yourself in that aspect. And I didn't know how to handle myself in that aspect at the time when I was coming into FSU. Like, my thing was transparency, like, just being real, because that's what I grew around. But, like, you got to learn, like, not everybody you meet, you can be transparent with. Like, that's just a sad part of life, like, a sad part of corporate America. Like, not everybody you meet, you can be 100% with, because that will come and backstab you. So, like, you got to, like, really be cognitive, like, just like in life, just like in other parts of life. Like, just because, like, this person's Black, your person Black, that person is Black and you're Black, doesn't mean, like, necessarily, like, they understand where you're coming from, because we all got different experiences. So you just really got to be cognitive about who you're dealing with and understand, like, their background just as much as you understand your background.
No, I definitely agree. And, like, I know that a lot of, like, what you said as far as, like, the way you were moving and stuff like that has to do with, like, the mindset and stuff like that. So I know that, like, I realized before we got to FSU, like, what type of mindset you had, and I was like, that go get a type of mindset. Yeah. I feel like that's what kind of, like, steered you tunnel vision towards, like, not really trying to mess with a lot of other people. You was
facts.
Going to the bag. Because I remember your first year, you were able to, like, land a pretty good internship at FSU. I'll get to that question later, but this next question, because we talked about how like your transition was as far as, like, with Black transfer students, or, like, transfer students with the same, not even transfer students with the same color, but FSU students with the same color. But how was like meeting FSU students, different colors? Like how was that for you? Like being around so many people for like PWI, predominantly white school. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
How was that for you?
That was I would say, I mean, that was a adjustment too, just because like because FSU is such a big school. FSU has so many different like ideologies running around, different personalities running around. Like it's a big adjustment coming from like I said, where I come from, and not getting offended 24/7. Like at some point, like just like how like you have to understand the background of other people of your color, like you have to understand the background of people of different color as well. So like like I said, like the way I would handle being offensive like 3 to 4 years ago, somebody offended me 3 to 4 years ago, it's not the same way I can handle that at FSU. Like you just can't do it the same. Like you can't be that same type of person and succeed in that environment. So I mean, that's how I look at it, is like I chose this environment, so I have to adapt to what's going on around me. Yeah, I have to be open-minded around me. So just because I have a disagreement or I feel offended by what someone says, I can't, I mean, not say I can't, it wouldn't be effective if I go about it the same way I would go about it like in my neighborhood. Like I can't just go knuckle up with some dude like in the middle of class because he's like a far right-wing Republican and doesn't understand what it is to live in a lower income neighborhood. Like I can't just sit there and do that. Like I have to be able to like deliberate and litigate in that situation. So I feel like that's what FSU has taught me with other races, and just being like a student, being a black student just overall at FSU, like that's what it's taught me.
That's life. Most definitely. I know for me personally, one thing that like I did notice at FSU was like a lot of opportunity and resources and stuff like that. What you call it? So what would you say like has been like some pretty good like resources or something that you like from FSU that like you like didn't know about previous like before, or that you take advantage of currently or have?
I would say the Career Center is probably the biggest that I took advantage of. If I had to do it over again, I would have took advantage of CARE. Just personally, like for me, yeah. Like when the opportunity came, I would have took advantage of CARE as a transfer student, because just because you're not open to the scholarships doesn't mean you can't go to their workshops. Doesn't mean you can't be a part of Scope or STEM. So I would have took advantage of it, just so I could have an open mind and have different options and really immerse myself into the Black community at FSU. But yeah, the Career Center is a big one that I would say take advantage of. Take advantage of your Career Center advisor. There's one in every single school. My Career Center advisor taught me how to look for internships. That's how I found my first one in the spring, the semester after, because I went to her at the end of my fall semester. I talked to her at the end of my fall semester, and she really like put me on. She really put me on how to go about getting an internship. And then my spring semester, I had used Seminole Futures and the career fair at FSU, because that's a big one. A career fair is a big one. Like that one is huge. Like that's the one. Like to me, honestly, it don't make no sense why someone want to go to career fair.
Yeah, that was gonna be the next question. Like, yeah, I was gonna say like walk us through like your experience with the career fair, because I do know people that's like been to the career fair,
right,
and not necessarily that has been like successful or like got an internship, but I do know like you were able to land a pretty good internship. So like tell us like kind of like how that was, or like what you might have experienced or seen, or like what might like helped you out per se.
Right. My experience with the career fair, I feel like everyone is shy. Like everyone is really scared. Everyone is shy, which is understandable because it's really overwhelming. It's a lot of jobs, a lot of people out there talking a lot of different stuff, and you don't know what's going on. My experience is to know what you want to get, and then like simply like just go get it. Like that was like the career fair is the time. Like if you have any hustling type of blood in you, bro, that is the time to like show it, because honestly, there's so many companies there. There's so many jobs there. Like if like Trust me, I understand being intimidated, being scared, and like not everyone has that like mentality of like to really go get it.
Yeah.
But like, if that's the time you want to like, buckle your boots up and like go get it, like that's like you gotta go get it like at the career fair. Because I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, like there's some companies out there that are just looking for black interns. Like that's like they're looking just specifically for black interns. Like they might not tell you that, but like trust me, like I know like they're specifically out there looking for the next black intern. So
they want to diversify the workspace.
Exactly, they want to diversify their workspace. They look, not only say the black, but the next minority intern. Like, yeah. So like they want to diversify their workspace. So like,
they want to be seen as that company.
Exactly, we're a diverse company. Like we hire all types of people, which is cool. Like I'm gonna take advantage of it. Like I don't know about anybody else. Like I'm not even trying to be like green, but like I'm gonna take advantage of it. And that is like the time, like that's the time for you to go have your resume ready, go tell them what you want, what you're looking for in an internship, ask them what they have in an internship, what they have to offer in an internship, what's their compensation plan, because that could be anything. I'm not asking you how much you pay. I'm asking what are you gonna compensate me with? So that could be a house, a vehicle, a stipend, like that could be anything. So like ask them what their compensation plan, tell them what you're looking for in an internship, what you're willing to do with your life, what's your career goals. Like really be that assertive person and like don't take no for an answer. I'm not like, my thing was about the career fair, like I'm not leaving this place without 3 interviews tomorrow. Like that was my thing. Like I'm going there, I'm not leaving without 3 interviews. Like
I remember you saying.
Yeah, like I'm not leaving out this place without 3 interviews tomorrow. So like I'm going in here, I'm talking to every company. I'm not stopping until I have at least 3 interviews tomorrow. And that is the way like you gotta go. I think, in my opinion, I think there should be like almost like a class or like a preparation for like the career fair, because a lot of students do like have that like thing like, oh, like it's overwhelming, there's a lot of people, da da da. And like exactly. But I've had like I worked with a girl who said that to me, but her resume is better than like most people probably at FSU. Like she was a finance major, she's done like several sales position. Like she could have, like if she would have went out there to that career fair, but she would have bagged a really good internship, and she didn't because she was just scared. Like that was it. Like
now you know that you can't be scared. You just gotta go out there and try to land it. Because
I mean you got Seminole Futures though. Like Seminole Futures, like it's like you got it's
the
like
one in the fall.
That's the one, yeah. It's like I went there. It's like basically like the no. It's like for people of color, and it's like it's not that many companies, but it's the same companies that are gonna be there at the career fair. So like I had met people there and like went to the career fair and talked to them again and booked the interview. I mean, so you got that. Like that can be an asset to you. You can use that.
That's good. What you call it? Next question. As far as like the whole like FSU experience and stuff, like obviously universities and stuff like that aren't perfect, but like for you personally, like what do you wish was different, like coming into the school, like that could possibly like easily like be fixed, but or like just be fixed in general, but like something that was kind of like dang, like this is like making it harder than it has to be for me. Like were you ever like that at any point? It could be like academically, socially, financially, what do you feel like?
I feel like for transfer students overall, I feel like they can be a better adjustment to the campus culture and what the campus like actually has to offer and their resources. So I really do feel like the school could do a lot better job of immersing like transfer students into their involvement, until being involved, and to be able to hold Senate position, be able to hold maybe a vice president position, maybe hold a treasurer position, like really immersing them to that, joint and amplifying legacy, like things like vessels like that, to be able to hold political positions of the school. I feel like they could really use those organizations or use organizations at the school to really help transfer students to feel like more like Knowles. I guess you could say like they can feel more like Knowles. That's just overall, I feel like what the school can do. So I mean that has a lot to do with orientation. Like just the orientation structure has to be a lot better. The orientation structure has to have more representation of student body there. Like overall, like, it just has to if the transfer experience is gonna get any better. Because you're just gonna have people complaining the whole time. For me, as a black male transfer student, I felt that the school could have. I felt like the school could have put us, or a black student, as a black transfer student, could have put us in a better position to be involved in organizations like BSU, or seek the opportunity that CARE has, or the resources that CARE has. They could have given us a tour of the CARE lab. Like that would even have been like. That even would have been better. Like that'd be my big thing about like the transfer experience as a black person. Like
I'm sure you probably walked into the care lab before and got like stared down.
What? Like who is this person? I've never seen him in my life, bro. Oh my gosh, what? I've walked in there probably like twice, like ever in my life. Like I walked in there to create TSU, and like another time talk to someone about being a part of CARE, and then I decided in that moment I wasn't going to join CARE. Like that was it for me, bro. Like, that was it. I mean, that's like partially like the transfer. That's me, because I know transfer students that have immersed themselves in that culture. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, like, sometimes we can't really like let like one bad experience.
Exactly. Like, yeah. That was just me and like my personal like biases and my personal experiences like let me determine like how I was gonna move at FSU, because like I said, I come from a different cloth, so it's different. Like where I'm from, like it's different. Like if you ain't got like good, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
I can definitely relate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like what's up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's different. So like that's why I just like would stay away from it. I stay more away from like that type of energy more than like go towards it, because I have a lot more to lose than those individuals. Because if I lose, like I'm going back home to nothing. Like ain't nothing back for me going home to. Like if I lose, like I'm going home to nothing. If they lose, like it may be a little bit different. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so that's my big thing. But like I feel like as a black transfer student, but that's why TSU was like started, because TSU was originally supposed to be a black male transfer group. Like
you didn't know that.
Yeah, TSU was supposed to originally be a black male transfer group, but I could not find enough black male transfers to create an organization. Like
that was like the second to last question. Like I was gonna say, because like for those who didn't know, founding president of the Transfer Student Union. Also, like tell us like what was really like your vision, your goal for like getting TSU started, and like how did you see it like benefiting transfer students in the future?
So like TSU originally was supposed to be like a black male transfer group. Like that's what my goal was, because I was a black male transfer student. So that was my whole big thing. Like I felt like we were the most ostracized group of individuals at the university. But then when like as you like go along and you're trying to start this group, you find that more and more students, not just black, not just white, not just any particular color, like they feel ostracized as individuals. And you realize like this is like it's more of a community problem than just a race problem. So like
very much.
So that's what started TSU, because I saw that there was more individuals like that needed immediate attention from us as a support group, rather than like for the long run. So like just because like I didn't start a black male transfer group, I mean it's never gonna come about. Like it still can very likely come about. So just like a female, just like a Hispanic, just like transfer students who like to run bikes, or transfer students who like to go play cars on Tuesday, like like all these organizations could come about, but that was just me coming as a transfer student, what I felt that was necessary. But then you see like it's a whole community that feel ostracized as individuals moving forward. So that was like the whole big thing. Like with TSU, I saw TSU could be the umbrella for other transfer students and really branch off into other things that where transfer students could really just find a home. Because like my first year, and I would say even my second year, like, I mean, moving in the fall, like when I'm graduating in the fall, but I would say even my first year and my second year, like I felt like FSU wasn't a home for me. Like I probably would have came back to, if I would have graduated this semester, but I would not have came back to FSU, bro. Like it would not have been a home for me, bro. It would have been like just some shit. Like it was something I went through, and I got a degree, and now I'm off making money, and I would never come back. So really just TSU, I really want TSU to be that home for transfer students, just like Black Student Union is for Black students, or the Hispanic Student Union is for Hispanic students. Like it just be that home where they can come back and be like, oh, I remember like when we were all together as transfer students, and
at the TSU
at the TSU social, and we used to have so much fun, and we meet other transfer students, and scholarships are given and things like that. So
yeah, 'cause a lot of people, they don't know that like with TSU, like we put a lot of like hard like behind the scenes work in for it. And like one of the things we do is TSU socials. And how that all started, like it'll be like at my place and everything, like we'll go in on like food and TSU punch. But like how that all started, it was like one day we was both at Chick-fil-A, we was talking at the school. It was my first semester at school, and me personally, because I've been in Tallahassee since fall 2017, well, a little bit before fall 2017, but so ever since then, like I've been marketing, not marketing, but networking, and like building up my connections and my network via FAMU and FSU, and people that that aren't currently in college. So like I can say that I came into the school with a decent network group. But like I remember we was at Chick-fil-A one day, and we were with somebody. He introduced me to somebody, a transfer student, and I basically realized that like there's some transfer students that like literally would just like come to class and go home, right, and like not have nobody to talk to and no friends or like nothing to do, and like I was like, dang, I don't want anybody to like feel like that. Like they should be able to like have at least a group of people that they could relate to, transfer students, and like that could steer them like in the right direction, or that serve as like a networking platform, or just direction towards resources. So like that's how that came about. So really like it's just been like a matter of like a group to like you said, be like a family for transfer students, and like really help them out. And it's continuing to build and become stronger and stronger as time goes. But yeah, if you haven't already followed Instagram at FSU TSU, shout out to TSU. But yeah, man. Anything that you could say you're glad that, like, what are you most proud of, like from your FSU experience so far?
Oh, definitely creating TSU. That is something I'm most proud of. That's something I like cherish the most. And like, I know it like seemed like I know it seemed like I don't cherish it because at the time like my mind wasn't in the right place. But like I cherish TSU the most. I cherish what it became. I'm so proud of what it became. I'm so happy for all our e-board members and their accomplishment individually and as a whole. Like, I love all our e-board members. I love everybody that has supported. Yeah, I love everybody that supported TSU, the vision and the idea, and has came to one of our events. Like every single person.
Especially thankful for all the supporters.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Like even people that don't come to our events that do support us. Like I'll be hearing about it. So like I definitely like do appreciate that. Like I don't have no like mild feelings toward anybody. Like I don't got no beef toward anybody that like has supported my vision or the vision of the transfer students like at all. And has looked to see it through. So like I definitely feel like that's the biggest like accomplishment of my career at FSU.
This has been good first interview for the first episode.
First episode, Campus Talk. That's raw.
We're gonna end off every episode with a double T, a transfer tip.
A transfer tip.
If you had one transfer tip that you can give to the people before you leave, what would it be? It could be about like a resource or something that they might not know about, or something that it could be anything.
Okay. I mean, my thing would be like definitely use the career center. That's what we're here for. We're here to get a job. That would be my career like advice to do.
Yeah.
My second like social advice would be like don't get overwhelmed. Don't go out there and think that you have to do everything. Like, because at the end of the day, like school definitely comes first. Like you definitely come in there to graduate and to get that degree. So don't let the overwhelming like, if you are a social person, don't just like overwhelm yourself with too many obligations to other orgs that don't benefit yourself in the long run. That would be my big thing. Cause like I would hate to see someone who's a bright student that's a transfer student not be able to reach their full potential because they gave too many other people who didn't deserve their time. Or not say didn't deserve their time, but gave too many people their time and didn't give themselves the amount of time that they needed to be able to advance themselves and get what they needed out of FSU. So that would be my biggest transfer student tip.
All right, you have it there, folks. This is Hassan Muhammad.
Yeah.
Transfer Talk.
Transfer Student Prez.